Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you who are seasoned veterans of what we do around here. We discuss psychological, emotional, and coaching related topics in an audio format, usually several times per day. If there's something we can help you with, please feel free to reach out and make that happen for you. Today, we're going to talk about signs of fake people. Unfortunately, not everyone in our lives is genuine, but there's 8 signs I want to run through that you might be dealing with a person who is less than genuine, or they are fake or have ulterior motives in your connective friendship. Some of these are easy to spot. Others of them are more difficult. It's difficult when we have blinders on about a person, when we've emotionally attached to a person and we believe that the person has emotionally attached to us and they actually haven't. It can be extremely difficult to find balance in those situations. But the first is these individuals are constantly braggadocious, but they try to look humble about it. So humble brag has become a term in the last little while, basically meaning they're trying to look genuine and soft when in reality they're always turning the conversation or the interaction back to their benefit or how they're better than the rest of the world. This usually is something like, hey, I may not be perfect at my job, but I do this and this and this. So there's always a but and if or. There's always a qualifier that turns them back into being a person who is better than or superior to the target of what they're talking about or to. Much like it, although a little bit different, is passive aggressive behavior. Usually, this is another way to say passive aggressive is wrapping a insult in a compliment. So it starts sounding soft. You really look good today, but those pants don't fit you. So there's always the compliment usually is front loaded. So you're like, hey, he says I look good. Oh, my pants don't fit me. So there's this moment of up and down. It's a roller coaster. And, if called out on it, the passive aggressive person does have the ability to say, I told you look good. I was just trying to be helpful. So there's always a deflective nature to the passive aggressive person's motivation. They are trying to look like they care. They're trying to look sincere, but in reality, they're trying to be harmful without looking like it outwardly. The next is ghosting. Ghosting is the practice of disappearing from a friendship or romantic relationship without explanation. It's becoming more and more common, especially in a world where we are less adroit at conflict resolution and confronting difficult conversations. Conflict resolution obviously is an important thing, but ghosting usually happens because one or both parties don't know how to communicate in a manner that is progressive, and one party, rather than get into the conversation of confrontation, they will immediately back out without explanation. Now, there are logical reasons for ghosting. If a person's been in the same emotional situation, abusive relationship, negative life circumstance for a long time, and a friend feels like they can't be helpful to that person, or they feel like they've come to the end of how much they can tolerate, this is a common reason people ghost, because they feel like we've had the conversation about how things could change and you're not doing anything with it. And so a lot of times people will ghost for that reason. But for the most part, ghosting usually happens in shorter term relationships, where just the other person feels like the relationship has kind of outlived its usefulness. False emotional um, depiction is another one, known as fake tears, fake emotion. A person seems exceptionally happy for you, almost in a sing-songy voice, and they're complimentary, but it doesn't feel legitimate. And then the other side, they are extremely remorseful over something, but it's histrionic, it's extreme. Fake emotion is usually to the extreme, and then a person can kind of turn that on or off like a faucet. That on-off switch is because the emotion's coming from a place of manipulation and not genuine nature. The next one is a person not listening. So, a narcissistic or fake person is a person who cares more about getting their story out there, what they believe, how they feel, what they think, basically centering around them. And so their active listening skills are almost non existent, and the only time they listen is when they're trying to gain leverage over the other person. So they may listen when that person's talking about a hardship, or they may listen when that person is talking about something they have that the fake person wants. But there's always a reason for the listening. It's not equal, it's not equitable, and it's often it has to be beneficial for the fake person to be in a listener's role. The next is they always want something, whether it's time, attention, money, power, um, connections. You speaking up for them, opinions, attention. There's always a gain for the fake person in the interaction. Very rarely do they do something altruistic. Very rarely do they do something without asking for a favor in return. And so, if you're dealing with a person who's fake, you're gonna go, "Hey, you took me to Burger King, but then you asked me to help you buy tires." There's always an unequitable nature to the level of investment, financial, emotional, or otherwise, when a fake person is afoot. The only time these people are genuine is if they feel that a person can help them level up. So they may, and even then it's not really genuine, but when they're kind and the kindness is consistent, is when a person above them, someone they feel can further their agenda or their level of power, is dealing with them. That level of interaction is useful to them because they will end up in a more powerful position. Fake people are usually motivated by power or public perception as the motivating factor for the actions they take. And so, if they feel they can level up, they will change behavior momentarily to look nice more consistently, but in reality, they haven't changed. The last one is they will gossip. They will talk negatively about other people on a consistent basis. They do this to gain leverage, they do this to gain influence, but they also do it to find out what the tick points are for other people so they can use that as leverage later. Every conversation becomes a fact finding mission to gain power and somewhat authority over another person, and that is another fake practice. So, hopefully, this is helpful to you. Until next time, Scott Golden, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.